Okay, I had a chance to run down to my studio, and I grabbed a couple of the books that I had made before. I'll show you this one first. This is made using some of my die cuts when I used to have my die cut business and had a large AccuCut commercial die cut machine. I no longer have it. I sold it and got rid of it. But this was one of the books that I made using some of the dies that went with that machine. And I don't really have what's called a scrapbooking style, so I'm very eclectic. That means I just kind of do whatever looks good at the moment, and then I move on to something else. So that was one of these books. Each page in this book is a die-cut shape made from chipboard that I then covered with pattern paper or the actual photo itself that I took. Just depended on what I was doing for my page. This first page here was using a round die cut, but of course I had to cut part of the round off here so that the binding edge would work out in my bind awl. So I pre-measured that to make sure that it was going to be exactly what I wanted it to be. I used some pattern paper, Martha Stewart punch. I used some crackle medium over the little frame. That's a Sizzix die cut. And then put a picture of my husband and I from a vacation that we took in there. So when you flip this one over, this was where I climbed to the top of Klingman's Dome. Once I was up there, this was the picture I took looking down onto the ground below. So it was kind of awesome looking, so I did that as a little mini layout. Then when this opens up, this was when we went to the Forbidden Caverns cave. You can see that without the glare. This is a little fold over I made with just some of the extra pictures from inside the caverns. And then I spotted this little bat on the wall, and I took a close-up picture of it and put in there. And then I just used the little tarbell thing to keep it closed there. This was just a picture of my husband and I, and it's just got some various, I run that through one of my embossing things, same there, added a button just to foo-foo the picture. This one was where I took pictures of us walking in the water with our feet, and then did the little stamped verses that went along with it, and then these little clear things almost made it look like water droplets on top of the scrapbook paper that was the water look. So I just thought that was a really cool page. And this one was just a picture of the scenic area. We stayed in a little cabin right across from this, and that was what we would see every morning. This is a little embellishment. I did the crackle paints on the chipboard piece, and then used another one of those little clear flat back stones there. The other side of this one, I happened to be real lucky, and I caught this great blue heron just as it was fixing to take flight. It had been standing on this rock. So I took a picture of it, and then I used some rubber stamps here that said graceful. Well, the word graceful and the word beauty, they weren't together. They were two separate stamps. And I just thought that made a really cool page and layout. And this is the last page in the book, where I just took a picture of my husband and I used a Cuttlebug embossing folder, embossed this frame, and then just used some various stamps just to decorate it. I actually have a picture to go on the back cover, but I have not gotten to it yet. Okay, this book, same basic principle. All of the pages are chipboard that have been covered with pattern paper, but I did it a little different. Each one of these, once I stuck the pattern paper down, I went back and I sanded to really distress the edges because I wanted that really distressed kind of nature look to it, since that was kind of the effect I was going for in this book because of the pictures that I used in it. I used a lot of different rubber stamps from my very good friend Betsy Griffin that owns Innovative Stamp Creations. These are all stamps from her, except for a few that came in some sets of stamps I got at, I believe, AC Moore. This is a frame that I actually designed. This was one of my custom dies that went with my AccuCut die cut machine. It's probably one of the only things that I miss about not having the machine is this die. It was a perfect 4-inch square with a 2-inch square opening, and it just gave a lot of surface area so that the frame could be decorated. And I just haven't ever gotten another one made to go with my big shot. But anyway, I decorated this side of it with different paper and added a picture here. This was an oval frame, well, this rectangle frame, but with the oval cut out. And I did a picture of my husband in that. And I used pattern papers that were like depictions of natural things. Like this one is rocks and pebbles, and this one is pine tree branches. And then I added a lot of dimensional type embellishments and things, and used my little punch that made the little tab pulls just as little page flippers. Same thing here. I added some little charms. I love using these little things on pages as a way to hang things on one side or the other of the page. This was a Civics frame here. I still have it because I can use it in my big shot machine. And it just had the wavy or the scallopy edge. So then this one has just a picture of the two of us in it. This was another frame. It's just a rectangle opening. And because we were way up high when we took the picture, I used the sky background paper. And then that one just looked like tree bark because all the trees in the background with the picture. I have a picture to go here, but just haven't gotten it there yet. This is one of the first fold-over books that I designed. I love to tie things closed with ribbon, so that's the reason this one closes with ribbon. I actually taught this one at a scrapbooking event that I went to one time. And I was doing on the fly. I made this up one day just to use the pictures that I had in mind. So when you open the book up, this is what you see, because this was the first thing we saw that day on our nature walk. The insert here is an accordion panel. You can either flip the pages like this to look at each page, or you can just simply accordion it out and see all of the pages. And it does the exact same thing this direction. You can flip it like this and use it as a flip book, or you can accordion it out and see all the pictures at one time. So that's just some of the books that I have made in the past years. And I have more, but I just don't know where they're all at.